Hey, you beautiful souls. Okay, you ready for another Melody of Soul Day? So what do you do on a rainy, cold day? I'll show you what I do. First of all, I like to dress in neon colors. Second of all, I like to make smoothies, green smoothies in particular. So as I promised this week, we are gonna go over the green smoothie recipe and how you can prep your smoothies for the entire week. So I've got our ingredients already set out for us. Just to give you a little idea of what I normally do, I go ahead and get all my containers washed and ready because this smoothie is gonna go in all of them. And then this is the one that I like to drink out of all the time because it has a straw. So today we're working with some avocado, some mint. I'm trying to use up my mint that I froze. I've got some cilantro, some spinach that actually I froze as well. And I'm just gonna say that if you get spinach in a bag, don't freeze it. It works so much better if you get it more fresh. And then I also have watercress. That's my newest ingredient that I'm trying. Cucumber and kale. Well, my normal recipe is avocado, celery, cucumber, and some form of kale or just something that's green. I like cilantro. Not a lot of people like cilantro. I also like to put in some of my herbs. So these are from Thailand. This is moringa powder. Sometimes you can use matcha if you need a little bit of boost. It's kind of a caffeine substitute. I like ashwagandha. This is great for females especially. And then yerba mate if you also need another little boost. I've got my Vitamix blender here, the big boy. And then we're gonna put all these in. I also like to use these ice trays, which is silicone, so you can pop them right out. And I really like that they make them long so you can put them in your water bottles. Great little smoothie trick. I got that from a class I took with WildFit. Ready? Okay, so I like to start with the avocado. The thing with the blender is I found that if you put the bigger things down here, it gets stuck. So I usually put like the softer things down here and then I stack the bigger things, and I stack it. So the thing about smoothies that you have to remember is that you're filling this bad boy up with vegetables. Green vegetables. You can use fruit if you want to, but it's recommended if you're gonna do something with fruit in your smoothie that you only do it first thing in the morning or you do it as a complete meal substitute. Because fruit is a little bit harder to digest. It's really meant to digest on its own. So when you mix it with vegetables, it can slow down your digestion, which is great if you need meal replacement, if you don't want to be hungry all day, but not great if it's starting your morning and then you're gonna eat afterwards. So I don't use fruit. People tell me mine tastes like grass. So experiment with your own. Berries are really nice this time of year. Strawberries, blueberries, peaches are really nice. Some people like oranges. I like to put turmeric, ginger, and garlic in mine sometimes. So that might not be your thing, but it's my thing. Full garlic cloves. This is what turmeric looks like in the raw form if you've never seen it. It looks like ginger, but it's orange. And then I just have a little tiny bit of my ginger left. These are also great to get at the farmer's market. I found these at Harris Teeter. Look at this beauty that I got. It looks like a little hat. This fennel. Yeah, we're gonna see how that tastes. You can use these as either a meal replacement, like we talked about, or you can use them as your morning drink. Here are some of the benefits. Number one, you get everything in liquid form, right? So your body can digest it a lot quicker and a lot easier. If you are looking for weight loss this season, this is a great thing to add. Even if you just add it as your breakfast, or if you're a late night snacker, generally it's not because you're actually hungry, you're just bored and you need to put something in your mouth. Or it's because you're sitting in front of a TV, and normally when you sit in front of a TV, you're eating. I have that habit myself. So that's why I keep smoothies frozen. If you freeze them, you do have to take them, sit them on the counter for a little while to be able to actually consume them. But if you do them in what WildFit calls the SAM cubes, which are the ice cube versions, then you can actually just add them to water and let them do their thing. If you got smoothies already made and they're nice and cold, that can be your sippy cup during your movie night. Nice thing about the garlic is you can just pop it right in. If you don't like garlic, don't put as much garlic in it, but I love garlic, and it also helps with your digestion. We're gonna add all these lovely things together with the ginger. You don't need a lot. You need like little slivers of it. Same with the turmeric. These things will take over really fast. I would highly recommend not doing broccoli. I've done broccoli before in my smoothies and it took over the entire thing and it wasn't awesome. This is turmeric. How bright orange it is. So keep in mind that the colors in food dictate the chemical compounds that are in the food. So that's why it's beautiful to have a nice variety. Now, I will say if you put a bunch of different colors in your smoothie, it's gonna turn brown and you may not like that as much. I like mine super green, mostly because the heart chakra is super green. Today, yellow for the yellow chakra. Does anybody know what that one's for? All right, this is our mint. So we're just gonna throw that in there. I love mint in my smoothies because it makes it fresh. It makes it taste very, very fresh. I've been listening to the book by Darren Olean and he's been talking about watercress. So I thought, I'll give it a whirl. This is why you don't freeze this spinach. Look, as it melts, it just becomes a big clump. It still works in a smoothie. It just kind of feels gross. So I've definitely switched over to buying it in the little plastic containers. It does make it freeze easier. So we've got our mint so far. We've got our avocado. We've got our spinach. It's starting to fill up. We need some cucumber. And I've also got celery. So with a Vitamix, you don't really have to cut the veggies down too small, but if you got anything like a Ninja or something that's not as strong, cut them down more. Otherwise, you're gonna get a really, really chunky one. If you want it to be smoother, you can add more avocado. Keep in mind, however, that avocado's got a very interesting taste, and not everybody loves that. So another way to just make it smoother is to put more water. I personally use Kangen ionized water because we have one of the ionizers here at my mom's house. And I just keep it in the refrigerator in a container and add it to all my smoothies. Oh, we didn't do kale yet. Kale can take over fast, so just be aware of that. But a little goes a long way. Okay, I'm just gonna dump this in. Look. Yay! I like green onions. Not everybody likes green onions in their smoothies. I like green onions in everything after living in Asia. I'm gonna add a little bit of cilantro, one of my favorite things in the whole entire world. Now with your smoothie recipes, you're gonna need to experiment a little bit because certain vegetables are gonna affect you different ways. So for instance, my brother can attest to this. When I started making smoothies for my mom and my brother, I had to make different smoothies than what I normally eat. For some people, cilantro tastes like soap. It's telling you that that is not for your digestion. What our tastes tell us, especially when we talk about the Ayurvedic 6 tastes, is what our body needs. So if you're craving a particular taste, not a food, that's your mind taking over. If you're craving salty, sweet, sour, pungent, astringent, then that's some type of chemistry that your body needs for some reason. A lot of these are bitter. The garlic obviously is very pungent, and you can get a variety of tastes without having to taste them all individually. So you're getting the chemistry of a lot of different things. Okay, now we're gonna put in this fennel. It's fennel dill, so we're gonna take a little bit of that. You don't want a lot of dill. Dill goes crazy. It is excellent, however, with seafood, as I found out, mostly in Asia. So these are all the greens. Now we're gonna add my herbs. I like to add them before I add the water so they kind of get stuck in there, otherwise they float at the top. So we're gonna take a little bit of moringa powder. If you've read Darren Olean's book, or if you listen to it on Audible, which is the way I did it, he talks a lot about moringa, which I was like, yay, I'm glad I brought this back from Thailand. A friend of mine gave it to me. If you want matcha, I like a little bit of matcha in mine. Matcha takes over too, so be careful. I only put a little bit of matcha in there. And ashwagandha. This is an Ayurvedic herb. Put a little chunk in there. Sometimes I put some chia seeds. So again, the basic recipe, which I will link, normally any kind of greens, avocado, celery, cucumber. You can add fruit if you want to. You can add any type of fats that you want to. You can add coconut oil, but if you're gonna freeze it, not a good plan. You can add olive oil if you want to, but I find that it still gets a little funky in the refrigerator. And then today we've added some turmeric, some ginger, some garlic, some cilantro, some mint, green onions, fennel, and watercress. So experiment with your smoothies. I'm gonna add a little bit of amla, which is Indian gooseberry. It also has a mega dose of vitamin C. One of my favorite websites for different juice recipes, if my juice recipe doesn't sound appealing to you, is juicerecipes.com. It's something I used to recommend to a lot of our clients, especially when we were going through juice cleanses and smoothie cleanses, any type of cleanse. This is really used for a detox cleanse if it's your only meal. And you can do this for anywhere from 1 day to 7 days to 30 days. Okay, and then we blend. This is my Vitamix. I love it. You can pretty much do anything. I don't know if you can hear me right now. Check it for any floaters. And see how big this is? See how much smoothie I have now? There's no way I could drink all this smoothie. Not in one sitting. Okay, I'm just gonna show you how amazing this looks. Okay, maybe it doesn't look amazing to you, but yummy. It's nice and smooth and creamy, and it smells like kale. So the last time I smoothie prepped, I went out of town and I actually took everything with me. So I take these frozen style. I put the most concentrated ones in the ice because I'm gonna add them to water. But what you'll notice is we only fill these guys about halfway, and the rest we're gonna add water. So this is an easy, quick cleaning technique for your blender. So we're gonna do everything about halfway, and then we're gonna add more water to the blender, turn it back on so it cleans itself, and then it's gonna get all the residue in that water, and then we're gonna fill these all the way up. Start from the middle, and you pour outward. You don't want a lot of overflow because they do expand. These are great for the freezer. These little mixer blender bottles. These are not. It completely came apart when it went in the freezer. Now, if you have a Tervis tumbler, this is like the off-brand of it, you might be fine. This is my normal drinking one, so we'll drink out of this for the rest of the day. All right, so I'm gonna start with my first container. I like to do this over the sink. All right, that's about my halfway point. Next one. I only prep about 2, maybe 3 times a week, depending on how my week is going and if I'm doing a whole lot of fasting. So that's our halfway point on that one. Yay! All right, so there's our ice tray. And that'll go directly in the freezer. Now you'll see that we only have about this much left. So I'm gonna add water to this, run it again through the blender to clean it, and then refill the rest of these guys. I personally keep all of my smoothing stuff in one drawer of the refrigerator, which we talked a little bit about that when we did groceries. And then I keep my cooked vegetables, anything that I'm gonna use for dinner or anything, in another drawer. Just so when I go to grab smoothie stuff, I know exactly what I have, and I don't end up cooking with it, and then I'm like, I don't have any more spinach. Remember, juicerecipes.com is great if you want alternative recipes. It also takes you through what's in each recipe and what those items are good for in your body. You can also look things up like health conditions, preventative and existing ones. And I'm gonna put a link in here that you can get my free guide to avoiding overeating. That's all Ayurvedic based, and it talks about smoothies and just some strategies for you when you know you're going to be going out. Look for that below. Thanks for joining me in the smoothie prep today, and I'll see you later this week for meal planning 101. Let me know in the comments below if you have anything in particular that you want to learn any more about when it comes to Ayurveda or food or money or beauty. See you.